You've been working hard, not the fake kind, not the Instagram kind, the real kind. Long days, mental pressure, constant effort, and still nothing really moves. Your life looks busy, but not bigger. Full, but not powerful. Exhausted, but not free. So you start wondering what you're not allowed to say out loud. If hard work is the answer, why am I still here? That question scares you. Because if hard work isn't working, then the problem isn't effort, it's direction. And direction is your responsibility. Nobody warned you that hard work can become a trap, a socially approved trap. A trap that keeps you tired enough to obey, but never sharp enough to escape. You were raised to believe effort equals worth, that being busy means you matter. That struggle means you're doing it right. So you learn to grind. You learn to push through resistance instead of questioning it. You learn to ignore the quiet signal that says, something here is wrong, because questioning your path feels dangerous. It threatens your identity, and your identity is built on one sentence. At least I'm trying. That sentence protects you from judgment, from regret, from responsibility. But it also cages you, because trying doesn't require clarity. Trying doesn't require commitment. Trying lets you avoid the most important decision of all. Is this even the right game? So you work harder instead. When results don't come, you add more hours. When progress slows, you blame yourself. When you feel stuck, you assume you need more discipline. But discipline isn't your problem. You already have that. Your problem is that discipline without leverage just makes you a better worker, not a winner. And the world doesn't reward workers anymore. It rewards builders, owners, strategists, people who chose their position before they applied effort. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Hard work feels productive because it numbs uncertainty. It keeps your hands busy so your mind doesn't ask questions. Questions like, why does this reset to zero every day? Why does nothing stack? Why do I feel behind even when I'm doing everything right? Those questions threaten the illusion, so you drown them in effort. You stay busy. You stay tired. You stay safe. But safe doesn't scale. And eventually, exhaustion stops feeling noble. It starts feeling pointless. That's when resentment creeps in. You see people ahead of you who don't look exhausted, who don't look frantic, who don't look like they're grinding. And instead of curiosity, you feel anger. They got lucky. They had help. They didn't earn it. That story protects your ego. Because if effort is the highest virtue, then your suffering still means something. But what if it doesn't? What if effort is just energy, and you've been pouring it into the wrong container? This is the psychological trap. You confuse motion with progress. You think movement means momentum, but momentum only exists when effort compounds. Most of what you do disappears the moment you stop. Your work doesn't stack. Your time doesn't multiply. Your energy leaks instead of builds. So you wake up tired even on days you didn't do much. Because mental exhaustion doesn't come from work. It comes from uncertainty, from carrying too many open loops, from debating yourself all day, from never fully deciding. Every maybe drains you. Every half commitment steals energy. Every unclear goal taxes your mind. That's why breaks don't help. That's why motivation fades fast. That's why weekends disappear and nothing changes. You're not lazy. You're misaligned. And the advice you're given makes it worse. Work smarter, not harder. Empty. Just be consistent. With what? Hustle now, relax later. Later never comes. These ideas fail because they treat success like an effort problem. It's not. It's a positioning problem. Effort only matters after you choose where to apply it. Before that, it's just noise. That's why working harder hasn't fixed anything. You're applying force before clarity, pushing before aiming, bleeding before choosing, and your body knows it. That tight feeling in your chest, that constant urgency, that low-level anxiety, that's not ambition. That's misdirected energy. Your system is telling you the truth. You're spending yourself in places that don't pay you back. And here's the part that really hurts. You know it. You feel it when you stop. When you slow down, guilt rushes in, not peace. Because busyness became your identity. If you're not busy, who are you? If you're not exhausted, are you still worthy? That's why slowing down feels wrong. Not because it is, but because your identity is built on effort, not effectiveness. Now we hit the real turning point. Read this slowly. Effort is not valuable. Effect is. The world doesn't pay you for trying. It pays you for outcomes. It doesn't reward exhaustion. It rewards usefulness. Once you accept that, something breaks. You stop romanticizing struggle. You stop wearing busyness like armor. You start asking dangerous questions. What does this actually produce? If I stop this, does anything collapse? Is this building something or just maintaining something? Those questions burn because they expose years of misplaced effort, and your ego fights back. At least I'm disciplined. At least I'm consistent. But consistency in the wrong direction just makes you consistently stuck. This is where leverage enters. Leverage means one action creating many results. One decision unlocking ongoing return. One skill paying you back repeatedly. Hard work hates leverage because leverage makes effort look unfair. It exposes the lie that time equals value. It proves that position matters more than pain. And that terrifies people whose identity is built on grind. So they reject it. They call it luck. They call it shortcuts. They call it privilege. Anything but the truth. They've been working hard on low return actions. Here's how you know. If you stop for a week and everything collapses, you're not building, you're maintaining. If your income dies when you step away, you don't have freedom, you have a leash. If your effort doesn't stack, you're on a treadmill. And treadmills are designed to keep you tired and stationary. This awareness creates friction. You start noticing how much effort disappears. Meetings that lead nowhere. Tasks that reset daily. Urgency that produces nothing. And your tolerance drops. You get irritated, not because you're lazy, because your mind is outgrowing your environment. This is where most people fold. They go back to grinding to numb the discomfort, or they jump randomly without clarity and crash. Both are escapes. The real move is quieter. You start cutting, not dramatically, strategically. You remove effort that doesn't multiply. You protect effort that compounds. You stop asking, am I busy? And start asking, if this works, does it change my position? That question changes behavior fast. And it triggers fear, because now effort alone isn't enough. Now choice matters. Now responsibility is heavier. Now you can't hide behind hours. Here's what happens once you accept that hard work isn't the problem. Fear changes shape. Before, fear sounded like laziness. Get up, push harder, don't fall behind. Now fear sounds smarter. What if you choose wrong? What if you waste time thinking? What if you miss your chance? This fear is more dangerous because it disguises itself as responsibility. So instead of grinding, you hover, you research, you prepare. You keep your options open, and nothing moves. This is where most people get stuck permanently. They escape effort, but never commit to direction. They call it flexibility. It's actually drift. Drift feels calm at first. No pressure, no urgency, no pain. But drift quietly kills momentum because momentum needs commitment. And commitment scares people who built their identity on effort. Effort lets you feel valuable without risking failure. Commitment forces you to risk being wrong. So your mind looks for exits. It says, let's just wait a little longer. Let's gather more information. Let's see how things go. That's not wisdom. That's fear protecting comfort. Here's the truth. Nobody tells disciplined people, you don't need more discipline. You need fewer decisions and stronger ones. Every undecided path drains you. Every open door pulls at your energy. Every maybe splits your focus. That's why your mind feels heavy. Not because you're doing too much, because you're deciding nothing fully. High performers don't have more energy. They leak less. They decide early. They close doors. They remove debate. Once a decision is made, effort becomes light. Before a decision, effort feels unbearable. That's the difference you're feeling but couldn't name. Now let's talk about the internal war, because this is where you either change or return to the grind forever. Your old identity was simple. I'm a hard worker. People respected that. It earned praise. It earned belonging, but it never earned freedom. Now a new identity starts forming. I choose where my effort goes. That identity doesn't get applause. It gets resistance from others, from yourself. People will question you. You're doing less lately. You've changed. Are you still serious? They don't mean harm, but your overworking made them comfortable. It normalized exhaustion. When you stop, it exposes them, so they try to pull you back. And your old identity wants to comply. It wants approval. It wants to be seen as responsible. So it whispers, don't stand out. Don't risk judgment. Don't get it wrong. This is the most dangerous moment, because returning to hard work will feel like relief. Busy again, tired again, safe again. But safety is the enemy now, because safety keeps you small. If your effort is required to make others comfortable, you're paying with your future. Real progress requires separation, not arrogance, not ego, strategic distance. You have to be willing to look slower before you look smarter. You have to be willing to look uncertain before you look powerful. Now comes the mindset shift that locks everything in. Hard work is a tool, not a value. You don't worship it. You don't romanticize it. You deploy it. Only after three things are clear: what you're building, why it matters, how it compounds. If one of those is missing, you pause. Not quit, pause. Because effort without clarity creates attachment to the wrong path. That's how people waste years. They get good at something that doesn't pay. They master skills that don't scale. They become reliable in systems that don't reward them, and they call it loyalty. But loyalty to the wrong structure is self-betrayal. Once you see this, your behavior changes quietly. You stop rushing. You stop reacting. You stop proving. You start selecting. Your calendar gets emptier. Your mind gets sharper. Your actions get fewer but heavier. You work less. But every move has weight. This feels uncomfortable at first, because there's no adrenaline, no urgency, no applause, just quiet focus. This is where most people panic. They mistake calm for stagnation, so they reintroduce chaos to feel productive again. But if you stay calm, if you stay deliberate, results begin appearing differently. Not all at once, not loudly, but consistently. Momentum replaces effort. You're no longer dragging yourself forward. You're being pulled by direction. And here's how you know the identity has shifted. You don't ask for motivation anymore. You don't need hype. You don't need pressure. You move because you decided. You don't over-explain. You don't defend your choices. You don't argue with people who don't understand. Your energy becomes controlled, selective, dangerous in a quiet way. Now the final challenge. This is not dramatic, but it's real. Look at your life and identify one thing you're working hard on that does not change your position if it succeeds. Not your feelings, your position, income, skill leverage, ownership, control. If success in that area doesn't move one of those, it's consuming you. Reduce it, not tomorrow, now. Then choose one direction, and commit to it for 30 days without negotiation. No debating yourself, no optimization, no escape. Just clean effort in a chosen direction. That single decision will do more for your future than years of hard work ever did. If this shifted how you see effort, leave a comment with one word: chosen. And if you want more thinking like this, not motivation, not hype, subscribe. Because the truth is simple. Hard work didn't fail you. You just stopped choosing where to aim it. And now you know.